Get started by standing and saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So let's take attendance. So noted. Okay, so I need a motion to approve the minutes from the March 10th meeting.
So moved.
Support. Motion support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved. As a brief introduction, the Zoning Board of Appeals is a 7-member quasi-judicial body appointed by the Bloomfield Township Board of Trustees for the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act. Matters pending before the Zoning Board of Appeals are decided on a case-by-case basis. Any appeal of a decision made by the Zoning Board of Appeals is subject to circuit court review. Each case will be called separately in the order shown on tonight's agenda. There will be an opportunity for public comment at one point during each case. All persons wishing to comment will be asked to provide their name and address at the podium. Address your comments to the board and not the applicant or other members of the public. Given the number of appeals tonight, please make your comments brief. Comments by the Neighborhood Association will be considered as part of the factual information presented to the board, but those comments are not the determining factor for approval or denial. Please confine comments to the specific request before the board. For a request to be successful, an affirmative vote of at least 4 members present is required. We hope this helps provide a better understanding of what you can expect at tonight's meeting. And so now let's call the first case, item 15280 Inkster. Is the applicant ready?
Yes, sir. Good evening. John Thompson with PDA Group. I also have a large group of friends in the back that will help me if you ask me any difficult questions. So we're here tonight. You have a new homeowner at 5280 Inkster Road on Walnut Lake. The homeowner would like to do some improvements to their home, including a gated entrance and significant amount of enhanced landscaping. So the kind of a non-typical situation here, there is no principal structure on the township property, as the West Bloomfield Township line bisect the property. So the principal house is actually in West Bloomfield.
Yeah, so there's 2 lots. There's a house that's on the West Bloomfield lot,
Yes.
and what we're talking about tonight is the other lot, which has the
driveway. So what we are requesting is approval of permission and dimensional variance requests to install a 23-foot wide, 4-foot high gate and 2 5'4" pillars on either side of the gate. There was a typo in the notice. It said 5 feet, it should be 5'4", just for clarification.
That's what's noticed, right?
5 feet was what was noticed.
I think we could live with a couple inches.
Well, we'll see. We'll have to.
Sorry, I shouldn't say that. You
Yeah.
make the determination.
Okay. All right.
So the column itself is 5 feet. We put a capstone on it, which made it 5'4",
Okay.
just for the aesthetics. So the purpose of the gate and the enhanced landscaping is to reduce trespassing and improve security. If you would, oh, you're back. Nice job. Quick. So what we've got is the proposed gate's about 40 feet off the property line, hidden well behind any of the entrance landscaping. So you won't see that gate until you're right at the driveway. That gate also allows us, the gate position allows us to stack vehicles. We provided a turnaround area, so any turning movements would be done within the driveway and not out in the street.
Do you know the total acreage of the 2 lots?
I do, but not off the top of my head.
Okay. Isn't that critical?
Yeah, no,
See, you got into the hard questions already.
Yeah,
No, Do you know the size of the lots, Carol?
Well, I can tell you this, the house is set way back from the road, but the house then is basically set on the lake, so it's not an overly large lot. Okay, it's kind of deceptive when you look at these pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't have the acreage off the top of my head here.
That's okay, keep going. You're doing a good job, I don't want to slow you down.
Okay. So, so in part, why the enhanced security is we have a private owner that's, I mean, they like the privacy. But secondly, because there's been cross traffic with people cutting through the property to get down to beaches. So Pine Lake and Association and such. So by enhancing that landscaping and installing the gate, it'll be a visual deterrent from people trying to cross into the property. They call it security landscaping. There's a term for it, which I learned.
Right.
So, so as I mentioned, the gate is screened by the landscaping and set back off of Inkster to allow vehicle stacking and not affecting the pedestrian or vehicle traffic. We have notified the adjacent neighbors to let them know what we were proposing to do. There has been no objection has been received from anyone. And finally, with respect to the gate, I'd like to just show the pictures from our neighbors, 2 doors and 3 doors down, at was it 5980 and 5105. Very similar situations where they have.
This is all I got.
Oh, is it up further? Well, they make that we got it.
This is what we have.
We don't put every picture in the PowerPoint. But if there's one in particular you want to show, we can put it up.
No, it's not. So basically, 2 doors down on the opposite side of the street, we have another gated entrance similar, and then 3 doors down, same thing. So it's reoccurring on Inkster. It's not
Sure,
a
it's a busy road.
Anyways, so there is precedence for neighbors that are in close proximity. With regards to the pillar, again being 5 foot 4 inches high, quite honestly, it's aesthetics. You want that pillar to be a bookend to your gate. It's a typical scenario where you would have your pillar slightly higher than the gate itself. So there's no real hardship there. It's just that we thought it looked good. So with that, I'm happy to go over any of the questionnaire questions or answer any of your questions.
So I think we have the pictures. Anybody have any questions they'd like to ask? Go ahead, Carol.
So I have some concern that we only noticed it for 5 feet, okay? So are you willing to drop it down to the 5 feet?
If you're telling me that it's going to affect the notice and not just get away with it, then yes.
Carol would never say that.
I know.
Exactly.
Don't ask an attorney a question like that.
Yeah, exactly. We're not supposed to grant a variance for more than has been noticed. So can you drop it down to say the maximum height's 5 feet?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Open this to the public. Anyone would like to comment on this item? I'll close public hearing, bring it back then.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Please do.
I'll do the permission request first in regards to the appeal at 5280 Inkster Road for the accessory structures of the piers and driveway gate in the front yard without principal structure. I move the request be approved as it was noticed, 5 feet. Based on information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-76 standards because the use of accessory structures is appropriate to the neighborhood as you've shown other neighbors in that same area have gates and pillars on their property. Second, for the dimensional variance, in regards to the appeal at, again, 5280 for the dimensional variance, again, for the piers, the driveway gate, and the front yard, I move the variance be approved as amended 5 feet based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate compliance with section for all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because not only are they going to screen it so it'll be still aesthetically pleasing, but it stops people from trespassing on the property. There is no justice to the adjoining neighbor by the reason that some of them actually have this type of feature as well. Unique circumstances of the property have been demonstrated given the fact that, again, half of it is in Bloomfield Township and half is in West Bloomfield. This is not self-created because, again, Only half of the property is in Bloomfield Township, the rest is in West Bloomfield, which is why it's not a principal structure. If approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. And I'm not going to suggest any additional evergreen screenings at this time.
Support?
Can I add something? I think we need to add a hold harmless.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes, can you please add a home harmless for our fire department to access? You're gonna need one from us and one from West Bloomfield.
Yeah.
So you'll need to have a hold harmless assigned to West Bloomfield for their fire department and police department, as well as for Bloomfield Township.
Support as amended.
So I have a motion and support for amendment. Motion, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request, as noticed, is granted.
Thank you.
Calling item 26775 Wing Lake Road.
Hi, my name is Stephen Shepard. I'm the owner of 6775 Moon Lake Road. My wife isn't here, and she's with the 3 kids, but we are requesting permission to place a hot tub in our backyard. Actually, my wife and the 3 kids are asking for permission for that.
You're not going to use the hot tub?
Hopefully.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
Wait, is there any screening plan or screening with this?
Yes. Yeah, about 3 years ago, we placed 8 Norway spruces in the backyard as my north neighbor remodeled his house and took down our privacy. So I've already placed 3 Norway spruces to the north and then 5 to the south. And that was about 3 years ago. And then you can see the dimensions. They're going to get to double the size. They're currently at 18 feet tall, 12 feet wide. And they grow 3 feet every year up to 35 feet and 24 feet wide. So it's a very minimal gap between the trees currently. That should be done within a year. And there's some pictures of that.
Yeah, there's a couple of pictures. So you're pretty confident that'll screen the hot tub?
Absolutely. You have to be a little patient. I mean, you could put them closer to start, but then they're just right on top of each other. So this is looking to the front of the house on the left, right. On the right side there is the north. That's going through the north property, and the hot tub would be right in that corner there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the neighbor has any windows on that side of the
No,
house.
no, it's,
What's the view to the east? Is there a picture of
yes.
that?
That's to the, that's to the east. That's to Colby Lane. And they have a pool actually in their back.
The bottom picture there?
Oh, the bottom picture, sorry, yes, that's to Colby
So
Lane.
that looked to me like that, I can't, so it looks like some of that vegetation, right, is not evergreen?
Yeah.
Someone should be able to see it in that direction?
No, he has actually arborvitaes in his backyard because he's got a pool that he placed a year ago.
You can't count his stuff, though. That's beyond your property.
Okay. I mean, it's, there's one little space there where it's a walkway into this trail in the backyard. But I'm not sure if there's enough room back there to place any vegetation or trees. There's a fence back there also.
So I'm inferring from your comments that you don't think it's feasible to put any screening to the east there? Is that what you're?
Yeah, I'm not sure where I would put it because it's a bunch of brush and trees back there.
Are you concerned about them dying due to lack of sunlight or?
In the back there? No, I'm not. Yeah, we haven't really, I've been here for 10 years. We haven't really touched that area since I've been there. It'd be quite a job to remove all that brush and to replant anything. But if there's any openings, I could definitely put some arborvitaes or something back there if my eastern neighbor was
Because what
concerned.
the motion's going to say, it has to be screened from public view, so
Yeah.
my observation is there's one area, and that's it, that's.
Yeah.
So if you
I could put something right
put
there.
arborvitae there would help.
Okay,
Think you could do that?
absolutely.
Okay.
How, it looks like this is located pretty close to the house. What's the distance between the house and the hot tub?
It was 16 feet, I believe. I
Okay.
haven't measured out.
And it's really tucked in comparison to your patios.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were hoping to get it close to the house, yes, just for the electrical and convenience.
Sure.
And to shield it more.
All right, well, I'm not making the motion. So let's open this to the public. Anyone would like to comment on this? Close the public hearing, bring it back for a motion.
All right, with respect to property located at 6775 Wing Lake Road, I would move to grant the permission request for the hot tub because the applicant has demonstrated compliance with section 42-7.6 standards. The size, use, and location of the structure is compatible with adjacent properties and will not hinder or discourage the use of adjacent properties, and things of this nature are harmonious with the neighborhood. If approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year. All permits must be obtained prior to installation of the hot tub. I think your screening is sufficient, so I'm not going to add a condition on that. We'll see whether that flies or not.
Support?
Motion and support, any discussion? I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm sort of on the fence. We're open-minded on the board, so I think you got my vote,
I
so.
just think the trees he has
Yeah,
planted there are
makes sense.
sufficient.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
Thank you.
So calling item 3, 1500 Kirkway.
Good afternoon or evening. Matt Mosier, representing the homeowners of 1500 Kirkway Road. We have a few variances here to go over with you this evening. I'll start in the front. This house is being built and came before you guys, I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago at this point. Part of that approval, there was a driveway gate and piers, or gates and piers. That has since expired, and the gate has since been redesigned, just aesthetically. This gate is 4 feet tall on each entry. The piers are 5 feet tall, or 4.5 feet tall, or 5 feet, sorry. I was thinking of another case.
Yeah.
5 feet tall.
Okay.
And then, along with these driveway gates, there are additional piers nicely spaced across the front yard. This particular home resides in what I would call kind of an estate district of the township, very nice neighborhood, and these type of features are quite common. These piers are purely aesthetic and help to balance the architecture of the house. The house is quite close to the road, so they help to dissipate that architecture out. No fencing in between those, just hedging, and helps with some privacy from the road as well. In the center is just a man-made small bowl fountain that sits in the driveway. Because that's more than 9 inches tall, that needs your look. That's just like I said, like a simple, almost a waka bowl with just a small fountain in it. As we go to the backyard, there is a gas fire pit on the north side of the house. This area in the back is kind of a sunken area, I would call it. So from the road, you actually can't even see back there. It's got retaining and things like that. And then the last item is we're requesting a boardwalk. They're planning on just leaving the natural vegetation along the lake. So we recommended to them a slightly suspended boardwalk that allows for water flow, drainage, critters to live underneath, all the stuff that helps the environment. That would just be a composite wood top and be pretty minimalistic and tasteful to the property. So with that being said, I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Can I just ask a quick question, if it's
Sure.
okay with the chair?
It's okay with me.
Thank you. Our office had reached out to your you today. Unfortunately, I don't think we were able to touch base. My question is the line that's showing traversing the front of the property, at what point is it within the right-of-way versus private property? Because it appears that based on this drawing, that there appears to be some structures that are actually within the right-of-way. So I just we wanted to get clarification on that, and maybe you'd be prepared to answer that.
Yeah, I noticed that, Andrea. So
Yeah.
that one masonry pier needs to move back just to the property line right there, the dark black line.
Well, the fountain's in the right of way.
Yeah.
Well, we can move it back, it's portable, so if that's an issue, we'll just move it back. The rest is just landscape around.
So just a reminder that this board has no authority to grant anything within the public right-of-way. So I just want to bring that to that attention and to the board as well.
Generally, what I've done in these is because it's a portable unit, it doesn't have footing under it, I can usually get a quick permit from Oakland County, or the Oakland County Road Commission. So if the board doesn't have a problem with it, we can make it a condition that it has to be approved by Oakland County Road Commission, if that's possible, I don't know.
And then my very last comment then would be a reminder that the township itself actually does have their own right-of-way disruption permit.
Right.
That you would secure after Oakland County Road Commission, so.
Could we make that I don't know, I haven't dealt with that before, but I'm happy to make it a condition if that's an issue. It's a very tight lot compared to the street right there, so it's a little tough.
Any other questions, observations, or feedback for the applicant?
Okay, I've got some feedback.
Okay.
I'm a little concerned with putting anything into the right of way.
Okay.
Okay, so I would be looking for you to push everything out of the right of way. I am also not feeling the love for the additional piers
Okay?
between the gates. I don't see any reason for those at all.
Okay.
So that's, kind of where I'm coming from.
And Carol, is that just for aesthetic? I mean, I know we've gotten a lot of these passed
I think
in the
it's
past, so
aesthetics, but it's also, to me, it's just out of place just having these random piers stuck across the front. And I think it also leads to somebody saying, well, geez, I have these piers, why can't I attach a fence in between them? Okay, I see a potential problem in the future. So I can understand why you're asking for the gates, but I don't see the need for the piers. That's just my personal opinion.
Then too, I've noticed there are other gates in the neighborhood. Are there any other ones, any houses surrounding that have the piers and the hedging?
I mean, I
like
don't know
that?
exact addresses, but there's a lot of piers around, as you know. I think you might be new to the board relatively recently, but I'm here,
Please educate
fortunately,
me.
every
Yeah.
month, so I've gotten a lot of piers approved, but I'm, as you guys know, very respectful of the thoughts that you guys have, and happy to take your comments and respond accordingly.
I don't remember you ever having just random piers like this, though. They've always been connected to
Yeah, we have like a
something.
wall with some piers, or,
Yeah,
yeah.
with a partial wall or something
Right.
like that, but this is sort of different.
You mentioned hedging. Are you planning on putting landscaping between the piers or just?
Yeah, it's just a nice, clean, because if you take like hedging and you just work it around with no stonework, it just looks a little, it doesn't give it a nice architectural detail. Because that house is massive along that road, just bringing a little bit of that architecture out, adding that hedging, both from a neighbor's perspective of giving it a little buffer and from their own privacy, it's just a nice design detail in my opinion.
Any other feedback or comments for the applicant before I open the public hearing? All right, I'll open the public hearing. Anyone like to comment on this item? Close the public hearing then, bring it back. Discussion, motion?
Just some discussion. I agree with Carol on, I don't feel comfortable putting in the right-of-way, but I understand the architectural detail associated with that. The house, it has a pretty big scale, so trying to have some natural elements with the hedging as well as some stonework that matches the home, I get it. This area has that. There are several homes in this area that have that, and they put that detail in. So I don't have a problem with the piers. They're not random. They are designed as part of your landscape plan, but I don't feel comfortable putting them in the right-of-way.
Yeah,
And I understand it's a narrow lot, though. I also get that as
I
well.
have no problem as a condition, making sure, and if staff can look at it, we can move that pier out of the right of way and.
Well, the pier and the fire
problem.
bowl.
Yeah, yep, and the fountain bowl, yep.
All that's got to be shoved back.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Sure. I think you've got the kinks worked out.
Yeah. So we're going to go with the permission request. So in regards to the appeal at 1500 Kirkway for the permission request for the gas fire table, piers, water feature, fountain, I move the variance be approved as amended. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with strict letter ordinance would be unduly burdensome because, again, we have a tight lot here. So again, where they're putting it, the size of the home and scale, that all is appropriate. There is no justice to the adjoining neighbors by the reason of several neighbors have similar things, as well as unique circumstances of the property have been demonstrated given the fact that, again, it is narrow. This doesn't have as much of a setback as some of the other properties along this road. This is not self-created because of the fact, again, the lot size was a limitation regardless of how big the house was. Second, for the dimensional variance for the pier, gates, and water feature in the front yard. For the appeal at 1500 for the accessory structures, which I just mentioned, I move the variance be approved, again, as amended. The amendment is they will not be in the right-of-way. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-76 standards because the use of these accessory structures is appropriate to the neighborhood because other neighbors in this area have piers, other neighbors have gates, they have fire bowls, and they have that boardwalk walkway going to that beautiful water feature. Now, if this motion is approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. And then I'm not going to require any additional evergreen screenings at this time for the gas fireplace, the gates, or the water feature.
Support.
So I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request as modified
Thank
is
you, guys, appreciate it.
approved.
I'm on this one, too, so.
Okay.
Here to represent the homeowners, Matt Mosier, at 5766 Kenmore. I think this one's pretty simple. This one is for an attached pergola to the house, which is highlighted in the yellow. That pergola will have a kind of a water, what we call a rain curtain falling from that into the hot tub below it. And then the hot tub itself is raised 12 inches out of the ground, so that requires your look as well. This property is already well screened and going to be even more well screened, so none of this stuff should stand out to the neighbors. And I feel it's fairly common. Everything is well within the setbacks. And as always, we try to make it as tasteful as possible. Happy to answer any questions.
Does anyone have any questions at this time?
Is there any additional evergreen screening that you're going to do? Because it is 10 feet. I don't know if your screening is 10 feet. Is it 10 feet the lot line?
Yeah, I mean, we have, I think, 10 to 12 for being proposed. If you guys want that, Chris, if it's fine with me. You know, we've got a nice client who's good with it, and I know I know you like screening.
I want your client to be able to invest
I'm with
by
you.
minimally impacting your neighbors, so that's great.
Yep, happy to accommodate.
I'll open this to the public. Is there would like to comment on this item? And I'll close the public hearing and bring it back for further discussion or a motion.
Mr. Chairman, we want to make a motion?
Thank you, Ed.
Okay, in regard to the appeal at 5766 Kenmore Road, I move the request be approved as submitted based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards because the use of these structures is appropriate to the neighborhood, given their popularity not only in the neighborhood but throughout the township. If approved, the motion must include application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year. All permits must be obtained prior to installation of the pergola and the raised spa. And the evergreen plantings will be placed as discussed, providing full coverage, so 10 to 12 foot, whatever is required to completely protect or obscure sight of this from the neighbors. And that would be the extent of the motion.
No motion to support.
So I have motion and I have support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is
Thank you,
granted.
guys. Appreciate your time.
So calling item 5, 2746 Turtle Bluff Drive. Is the applicant here? Item 5? Oh, okay.
Hello, Board.
Good evening.
My name is Ellen Yerkes. I'm with Antelli Landscape representing Dr. Ascar at 2746 Turtle Bluff Drive. Our project is set in a beautiful neighborhood, if you're familiar with it. And their backyard happens to have a very significant slope, which is why we're here today, just by the elevations needed to retain a flat space for their patio. They currently don't have a backyard patio set up at all. It's a bit of like more of a walkway. So we've designed some retaining walls for safety and stability, engineering the ground up. You can see that bottom left, thank you, bottom left picture, kind of showing the actual grade and what we're gonna have to do to level out that space. So the piers end up being taller than you would see from the home or adjacent, but they don't have a back neighbor down this slope. It's like way down and then a road. If there's existing photos, I don't know if you can put them up. Yep, that's the backyard. That actually is perfect, because the view to the backyard, that hill goes all the way down to that road there. It's a very steep, and we're going to be very cautious with our machines. So we're proposing the outdoor amenities here with a counter, piers, and the fireplace in the center that also has a water spillover in the center to complement the architecture of this home. The size of that patio makes sense, and we don't have any additional interference with the neighboring properties. It's all kept like within the corners of their house. Any questions?
I think Chris may have a question or two. Go ahead.
So, I looked at your landscaping plan, and doesn't look like there's any landscaping along the retaining wall.
There's a slight amount right there on the bottom left corner where it is soft-scaped. There is not a plan to have any plants behind there due to the lack of maintenance that they would provide to them.
So I believe our ordinance states that we have to, right? So we're 5 feet.
Which side is the 9-foot side?
I think
Where you're
yes, you're right,
showing,
Chris.
that's the 9-foot side.
It would be the lower end, further from the house where the slope is
Yeah.
lower.
So the further away it gets from the house, the
Yeah,
bigger the slope.
Exactly, the higher.
Right.
it
And
has
that
to
is
be.
the side that the roadside sees. So if I'm at the road looking up at this beautiful home, I'm gonna see this retaining wall, and then they have the flat surface, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So it has to be screened.
I'm
Or,
not sure, I would have to read the ordinance, because I'm not sure that is the case for this wall.
may I get planning review?
Well, we do have a retaining wall ordinance, if this is truly considered a retaining wall, which in this instance, it truly is retaining the patio. And we do have an ordinance that does require that walls that are considered higher than 4 feet do have to be screened. So we do have a requirement for a wall that height to have some evergreen softening.
That was the discussion on the Foxcroft property.
Correct,
Yeah.
and we enforced them to put significant screening in.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did.
So,
I can understand that. I would, as a landscaper, would ask if this is necessary to be another row of arborvitaes in Bloomfield Township, or if we could mix that up with something shorter, because the view would be totally disturbed. As you can see, it overlooks that lake.
I understand we're not, I think the spirit of it is to soften the brick from the retaining wall.
Okay, that's doable.
Huh?
That is doable.
So I think that's the spirit of it. Because again, when you look at the back of that house, obviously it's beautiful, but it'll be a lot of hardscape associated with it. And the neighbors across the street are gonna see that, right? And it's not like it's not good materials, it is beautiful.
Sure.
But I can't hold other people to a standard and not hold you to it.
Wouldn't expect you to. That's fine.
So
So
before
you want
we're
me to
done-
upsell some plants to my customers?
That's not what I was trying to do.
You're not upselling.
That's not what I wanted to do.
You're meeting our requirement, so you're not upselling.
I would be able to comply to that, and I know that they'll understand the advancement of softening that wall.
So
Sure.
whatever motion may or may not pass, will include some type of provision for that. And then you can, as a landscaper, can come with a creative solution to how you'd soften it.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be another row of arborvitaes.
Yeah, you seem to be opposed to arborvitae.
I am here, yeah.
Yeah, I sense
the deer are
frustration
eating
in
these
your
things,
voice.
so it's a bummer.
You don't like the arborvitae in Bloomfield
I love
Township.
them in the right places, but also
Okay.
let's remember that they grow a certain height. They're also eaten up by the deer, and so they're not really beautiful. In 5 years, they only worked to.
Well, the great thing is, in this case, you get to choose.
I'm
as long
going
as
to.
it's evergreen
I'm
and it
glad.
screens.
We're gonna use a nice like Green Mountain boxwood. That'll be a nice height for it. It's about 4 feet high.
Okay.
So that's my question for direction for the staff. If a motion, I just want the board to be clear so that when we go out there in the field, we have an understanding of the expectation of the height. What I'm hearing is softening versus screening, so I guess I just would ask for direction, whatever the determination is from the board.
What does the ordinance say?
The
regarding
ordinance says it has to be
retaining walls?
screened to a certain percentage,
Completely?
like 80%, right? Some percentage associated with the wall coverage.
At time of planting, right?
I know, so again,
Well, again, it's also.
It slopes,
Gets
too.
reasonable conditions on the grant of any variance, so regardless, if the ordinance said 20%, we could make it more. While they're thinking about that, I just want to make sure that there isn't any area that somebody could fall off. There's going to be a fence or something solid where.
Correct.
Okay.
In fact, that photo you see
Sometimes you
of-
can't tell by the
No,
photos,
you can see
so.
at the top.
That photo above is the exact railing we'll be using,
Okay.
and we're using piers to connect the railing, so it's
Okay.
actually mimicking the architecture of the home.
I think it
Okay.
has to.
So
be.
absolutely, yeah, it would be scary to
I
deal
think
with
They actually
that.
had one where somebody wasn't going to put one, so that's why I had to ask.
75% is what the ordinance calls for walls that are taller than 4 feet.
Which is 3 feet.
No, 75% of the height of the wall.
Oh, not of 4 feet. That's why I thought you just said.
What's the word? Opaque?
Opacity.
There you go, opacity.
Oh, okay, got it. I follow.
Opacity.
And how high is your wall? 9 feet, right?
9 feet, so
Yeah.
you'd be, yeah.
I mean, it'll be like 8.
Just over, almost 7 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, understood. We have some height. I mean, yeah. I think the Green Mountain boxwoods would be that height.
I thought the boxwood disease was going all through the township.
They struggled with that last year. Yeah, they
last
sure
year was
did.
bad.
So are
There's
we ready
proper
for a
treatment
motion?
for that.
Don't we have to open
We
the
didn't
public?
open the public
We have a
hearing.
public hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'd like to open this to the public. Anyone like to comment on this? Close the public hearing and bring it back?
I would love to make a motion on this.
Yep. Well, you're a
Is that
special,
serious, or was
you're a
that a joke?
specialist.
Well, that was, well, a little bit both.
With
But-
screening retaining
Yeah,
walls.
yeah,
Chris,
sorry
you're a-
about that.
You're our
So, in-
specialist,
in-
designated motion
Screener.
maker.
So, in regards to the appeal at, I'm going to go with the permission request first. In regards to the appeal at 2746 Turtle Bluff Drive, I move that the accessory structure, which is the gas fireplace, be approved as submitted. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-76 standards because the use of this accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood and throughout the township. Second, for the dimensional variance, in regards to the same address at 2746 Turtle Bluff Road. The dimensional variance for a 7-foot-high retaining wall, which exceeds a 4 foot in height. Is it 7 or is it 7 or 9?
It's probably 8. We asked for 9 in the zoning
What do we notice?
requirements.
That was specifically for
We
the,
noticed 7. Wait,
It says 7 here.
did we notice 7? Because the application said 9, I think.
Can you put the sketch back up of the height? Because I don't.
it says with illuminated piers at 9 feet high.
Yeah, okay.
So the piers are the 9 foot.
Oh, due to the height of the lamp.
Yeah,
light.
so the pier, but the retaining wall, which is the only thing we're talking.
Yeah, 7.
We'll talk about all that in a second when we get down to it. So, I move the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with technical ordinance would be unduly burdensome because, again, topography changes on this property would make their backyard unusable. There is no injustice to the adjoining neighbor by the reason of we're going to be screening it in an appropriate way. Unique circumstances of the property have been demonstrated. Again, topography, this is not self-created. Again, the slope of that backyard makes the backyard unusable. That's not what we want here in Bloomfield. Now, the screening we're going to talk about for the 7 feet. Okay? So the retaining wall is the part we're screening, or as part of my motion, we're going to be screening. We're going to do 75% of that, which gets us into the 4.5 foot to 5 foot range. So they have to be some type of evergreen tree. So that is my requirement. I'm not going to require you to screen the piers as part of it. If this motion is approved, all necessary permits must be obtained within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to the installation. And then the screenings, as we discussed, will have to be planted and must be within public view and exceed the height, as we discussed, for the 7 foot at the time of planting.
Support.
I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
Thank you for working with me, appreciate it. Have a good night.
Thank you for working with us. So calling item 6, 4294 Pine Tree Trail.
Okay, I thought I was leaving, but the client pulled
You
me
got
in.
retained on the way out?
Yeah, I got retained on the way out to present. I actually designed this project a long time ago. I didn't realize it was coming in front of the board tonight. The landscape installer had submitted it.
That's
So,
a quick prep then for you.
I'm reading notes, I'm looking at everything. Okay, so I need a little bit of clarification, Andrea. So it says that we've got a retaining wall that's less than 8 feet apart. I got the dimension plan, front of wall to front of wall is 8 feet exactly. So can you maybe tell me what wall I think it's the walls for the,
It's at the bottom of the
Spa?
screen, close to where Pine Tree Trail is written. Those are the tiered walls.
I think it's the one in back, because it talks about the sheer descent coming out of into the spa.
Okay, so
it's-
the yellow portion to the top with the 2 squares in the center waterfall, those are features for the pool.
No, I know that.
Okay.
And then over on the right, where it says 2 3-foot-high retaining walls, less than 8 feet of separation, encroaching 11 feet. Note that the first wall contains a 10-foot-long sheer descent. So that's the one that's in the spa. So I think there's a mistake, because on the plan, in between wall to back of wall is 7 feet, but front of wall to front of wall is 8 feet. So that wouldn't need a variance, I don't think.
Okay, so we have a lot of public comment on this tonight, so I guess
know nothing
so,
except, yeah.
you know, I guess I'm apprehensive to determine what is correct versus, I mean, I can pull the plan, but.
Yeah, they gave me the plan, which matches my plan from 2 years ago, so. I just want to clarify that, because I don't know that it needs a variance on that particular item.
Mr. Chairman, how about you talk about everything except for that
Yeah.
question?
Yeah, so Tom, basically 7 feet from here to the back, but you measure from the back to the front, and that wall's a foot wide. So it's an 8-foot, there's an 8-foot gap, which is the code. And then while you're looking at that, just a quick clarification on that back wall. On our plan, we had it 16 feet from the property line. Did you get a plan that's updated as closer?
I think they're, maybe as built, it might not be.
Oh, it's built.
It has
Yes.
to be
Okay.
like here.
See, you know how much I know about this.
It's okay.
This
I
wall.
drove by it today.
to here. So it'd be
And-
from
and
the
walk the
front,
property.
Got it.
front of the wall to the back, okay.
That's what needs to be clarified.
So the plan says something, correct?
Okay. So it looks like it was built closer to the property line than what I'm understanding. Is that correct, Andrea?
Again.
No, I don't know.
Again,
I'm asking.
you're kind of in a situation because we had spoken with the applicant and
Yeah.
they were prepared to address this, and so now you're kind of
Yeah.
getting
That's
stuck in the
one of the
middle.
issues.
Want to address this?
So, yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'm just trying to help, so, sorry. I'll let the guy that constructed it tell you what he did.
Hello, Alex Ketty, Luxury Resort Design Built. The walls are indoor walls where the neighbor can't see it next to the house where the spa is. So those walls are only 4 feet, and they have a 4 feet landing, another 3.5 feet height wall. That's what they're at, exactly.
So it is different than the plan?
Correct, correct.
Okay.
So we had to retain the elevation of the neighbors, because their elevation shows a lot higher than what Mosher designed, so we had to retain that earth to get the spa built in. So we had to build a 4 feet wall, a 4 feet landing for a landscape bed, and another 3.5 feet wall.
Is the original 4-foot wall at least 16 feet off your lot line?
I think his property line goes further back. Can I see that plan real quick?
I'm a little uncomfortable knowing the public input and the uncertainty of the information that's being provided, to be honest, but.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yep, so.
Yeah, the
there's-
dimensions on this are very important, and it seemed, Matt, you're at a really tough spot, and, a lot of the public comment that we're gonna get is, how close the wall is to the property line and the height, and those things are very important numbers for us to have.
There's a lot of brush over there already, the neighbor's trees, and that this has to be about 10 to 16 feet away from the property line where these walls were built. But we created it to retain the spot where it needs to be at. So we have a 4 feet wall and then a landing where the landscape shrubs going in, and then another 3.5 feet wall that goes up.
I'm looking at proposed wall locations for this thing. So you tell me there's as-built. We could see what this looks like now.
Sure.
Pictures were submitted.
Sure.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
So you had said that in the field something changed, right? And you guys had to make adjustments in the field?
Correct.
But it violated the variance and the plot plan that was approved. So that's why we're here. So, but you can't tell me how far they are actually off because we don't have an as-built. We just literally have the plot plan, which is what the previous gentleman was talking about.
Right. I don't know what the
and
measurement.
that's not necessarily your fault. So I think before we can even view anything, we need to have a surveyor do an as-built to know what was built and what is encroaching and not encroaching, because I have variances that you're asking that I don't know if they're right. So I can't in good conscience vote on any of these things without knowing a true as-built, and that's not necessarily your fault. Obviously, we're working with other people.
Sure.
But I don't feel comfortable going forward with anything if I don't have an as-built to actually know what he's off the property line.
Yeah, these dimensions are very important.
So I don't,
We can't make a determination without the data.
so I understand we have a lot of public comment here, but we can't even hear this comment without it. So I would table it and give the applicant time to have a civil engineer come up with a survey and then renotice all the neighbors and a stop work order on all that construction until that gets done.
Sure.
That is my proposal. I would have loved to hear what anybody else on the board has to say.
How many people, by raising your hands, want to speak on this item? Came here tonight. So we have 1, 2,
We can sell the public comment.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to take public comment.
Yeah, I think we
tonight
should.
Because they've come to
Yeah.
the meeting.
Yeah, and I just don't want them to think that when we notice this again, that they're gonna have to come back out and reissue their information as well.
Yeah, we may or, well, I don't know if it'll have to be renoticed or not. We
It's gonna be
don't know.
renoticed regardless.
Yeah, because
If it's,
Some of this is coming at us a little unexpected as well. So we had been working with the previous applicant to verify setbacks in the field. We had a staff out there today verifying some measurements, so we felt we were in a good position, but now I'm hearing something that kind of counters that. So I think that it would be wise to follow the suggestion by Mr. Kalinsky.
and again, I applaud you for being honest and explaining what happened, because anybody who builds in the field understands there are things that change. It's just the things you had to change create a domino effect.
Got it.
So, but again, you're trying to make sure it doesn't flood the neighbor's property.
Not a problem.
All right, so I have a procedural question then. So if we take the public comment, we have 5 people here. If it comes back, it would have to be the five of us to consider it, correct?
Correct, if there's deliberation and discussion.
So that's
if we deliberate.
not ideal.
Yeah, if we
Correct.
deliberate.
But you could open the public hearing and just not close it. We could continue the public hearing to the next meeting.
I've never done that. Wow,
You can. You're the chair, you can do whatever you want.
Mr. Chairman?
wow, unrestrained power. Okay, so let's do that. I've never done that. So we're just going to keep the public hearing open?
Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman? As far as, from the applicant's perspective, if you could hear out what is
Right.
about to be presented, and then take that back to the principals so that they understand what the
That's what
neighbors'
I'm hoping.
Yeah,
concerns are?
that'd help.
Because we're really big about, everybody getting along and respecting one another and being heard. So if you could take that back and, you could use that to come back with, what you believe to be the most constructive recommendations, it's going to be a lot easier for us to approve if we know that it's not going to be a major issue for our constituents.
I understand.
Are you clear then, what we're
Yes.
going to do?
I got it.
All right, so I'm going to open the public hearing, and those that would like to speak will just come up one at a time. I think you can kind of organize yourselves. Give me your name and address.
I'm William Vetter at 1529 Groton Road. And our lot, we have 4 homes around our lot. We have, our back lot line is 295 feet. And we're talking about 105 feet on this project here is on our lot line. And last month, they dug the hole for the pool, and just about 3 weeks ago, they put the gunite in there, and they framed it in and put the gunite in, and they have the corner of the pool where the projected fire bowls, which we object to, 10 foot from our lot line. We've been there for, my wife has lived there for 50 years. I've been there for 33. And we've had a big change in the neighborhood. So that's fine. We really don't want to see this. But the way the plan is, can you put the plan up there? Well, that corner where the green arrow is, where the green velvet boxwood is, well, that's an area that is the most vulnerable, or that we see through, and certainly boxwood aren't going to do it. There's a 10-foot space. I know where my lot line is. You don't have to go out there and measure the thing. We want like 16-foot Norwegian spruce all the way along our lot line, and I think our neighbor as well, which is Josh Stern, he's got about 80 feet on his lot line, and we want it fully screened. And they're gonna have to interlace them and stagger them to get at least a full barrier, at least 7 feet up, so that we don't have to look at anything. And we don't approve of the fire features that they have on the pool.
Yeah, Mr. Stern submitted a letter with pictures of an example of the Norwegian spruce and the staggering of it, so pretty clear image of what.
Could you put the other pictures of what the area looks like right now? Not that, look, show the backyard. Okay, that's what the pool looks like now. No, that doesn't look right.
We have multiple photographs that we don't necessarily put everything in the PowerPoint. So if there's something in particular you're looking for, we can put it up on the screen.
Well, when you look at from our backyard, the left corner is like 10 foot away. And they want to put what you got in a sheet here is you want these pillars with fire bowls on top of the pillars that are 4 foot high. And,
Well, and that was in the letters as well. There was, objection to that, saying too close to the line. There seemed to be some disagreement over how far it was away, so that's why the as-bills are important.
so as long as they, we don't want the fire pots, but if they can go ahead and put Norwegian spruce in, the 33 years that I've been living there, I planted 3 different kinds of arborvitae. I planted different kinds of, like Colorado blue spruce, and nothing survives the deer herd that walks through our backyard every day. I mean, The arborvitae that we've got are like 25 feet tall, but they're all eaten up at least 7 feet. So we see under them. And that's why we need the barrier back there to cover everything.
And sir, you're concerned about the fire pits? They're too close to the lot line? That's your real concern?
Yeah, I mean, you got big trees, I mean, in the fall, and, well, the other thing is, I mean, this yard is designed to be an entertainment center. And so there's gonna be a lot of people in there, and whatever they're gonna be doing, I don't know. But, we would like protection. We like the way it was before. It was very peaceful. And this is gonna be a whole change. And the other 3 yards that we have around us, we have walked through lawns, we don't have screening. And I sort of expected the same thing. And I wish you had the pictures that I gave you, especially the way they look, the way this place looks now. I mean, he took the whole hill out. I mean, we had a hill behind us that went at least, probably at least 10 feet above the lot line, and you just cut it all the way back, and they have a full walkout.
So, I'm sorry, does your wife want to speak? Do you?
Yeah, she's gonna speak.
I want to make sure my husband is finished, because I know he gets his time, and I would like to get my time too. Because I have things I need to say to support what he says.
Okay. Well, I was just thinking, since we're looking for the pictures, maybe you could speak.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, I can do that.
Yeah.
I'd like to introduce myself. Good evening. I'm Geraldine Joan Vetter. I have continuously owned and lived at 1529 Groton Road, Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, for 50 years and 8 months, and I will continue to live there. I have no plans to move, and people around me, even the neighbors across the street, when they were thinking about building, they caught my husband and I when we were in the front yard, and they said, "Do you like it here?" I said, "There's no place better." And they built a gorgeous home, and they've shared that with others, and now 3 of their 4 sons have built homes immediately around this house as well. School 33.6 years, and I loved every moment, and I took care of every child the best that I could. My job was to teach all the children, facilitating and maximizing all their learning experiences to the very best of my ability. Now, before I could do my job, I had to make sure our environment was safe as it could be for every child in the school. That was my job for 33.6 years. Now, doing my teaching to the best of my ability in the best safe environment for all my children and family and friends who come to visit at our home. They run all over the property. They love the hills. They love to go up and down and roll, and they're in every nook and cranny. That's the way children are. And this is very, very important. We want the environment to be safe. And there are very hazardous fire bowls that are totally unacceptable. The fire bowls being 6 feet into the easement. There should not be anything in the easement. It is totally unacceptable. And one of the pictures shows they can't even put vegetation, even any big trees in there, because there's no room. They built the pool too close to the easement, the property line, and everything. Now, we don't want the fire bowls. This is a residential area, not commercial. And even the sign, when you go down Pound Tree Trail, there's an advertisement for the builder that this is going to be a commercial environment. And, you know, we've seen that many times, and I thought, I don't get what they're talking about, except I see it in the backyard, in their backyard, and this is a view from my kitchen window. And all the red that you see there to the right is around their place. And it's way too close to our property line. I do support my husband and our next door neighbor, Josh Stern, who spoke to this, I believe, to you also, Brian Henry, about the 16-foot high Norwegian spruce, because the deer eat everything, everything. It is really very, very disgusting. We need these Norwegian spruce, the 16-foot high, closely spaced, so that we don't see any of this. And it would be, all of the trees would be on their property, on the Zier property side. We need your help. We really need your help. I have to have a safe environment for everyone that comes to my home, whether it's a child or an adult. I learned that in my 33.6 years of teaching at Pine Lake Elementary School in the Bloomfield Hills School District. I tried my best, and I'm pouring my heart out to you now to please help us. We need help. And that's why we say no fireballs and the 16 feet high Norwegian spruce trees lining up all along the back. I don't want to see any of it. We're not commercial. We're a residential neighborhood where family comes and loves to run around. Do you have any questions for me?
I'm sure everybody paid attention in your class.
They did. And you know what? Every child that I had, and I started in kindergarten and went all the way through, so I taught everybody, they were like my own children. And I treated each one individually. In addition to structuring things for the group, I made sure I connected with each one of them. And many of them are now in the neighborhood in very professional positions. My urologist is just down the road.
So I think we're getting a little off track now, so
I know.
Thank you for
you asked the
contributing to the community in so many ways. So I think we need to hear from some of the other people.
Sure.
So, because we got the picture up that you wanted us to see? Yep. Okay.
The one
'Cause
that
I-
shows that the corner, that one fire bowl is 6 feet into the easement.
Because the class bell is ringing for the next person to
fine.
talk. So, okay, so could we have the next person?
I'm Valerie Heyman-Sklar. I'm at 1563 Groton Road. I'm a few doors down, and I'm on the pond, so I'm a little bit further on the corner of Dairy. And the reason, I'm not as close to the situation as the Stearns and the Vetters, but I'm concerned that the encroachment of the 16 feet is really not neighborly. It doesn't take into effect the way the neighborhood is, how space is really important to the people who have bought houses, who live there for long periods of time. And I really think that it's not a shared standard, that they should really be part of the community. And they're not, and they're pushing and pushing and pushing. And I just don't know where it stops. And if it's not this house, you give it to this house, then the next house who wants to do the same thing, which is right next door to them, will end up, in the same situation. And they can't plant trees, and they've taken down beautiful greens and that are 70-year-old trees in exchange for arborvitaes. That is not the same. And just, we're putting up, privacy fences, with arborvitaes, so that's my thoughts.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak?
Hi there, I'm Marion Hinton. I live at 1555 Groton, and I think the only person who beats me in terms of residency on this road is Mrs. Vetter. We moved to Groton in 1983, so I have spent most of my life looking at one of the most peaceful, pristine pond views that might be fairly unknown to people in Bloomfield. We're talking about Groton and Derry as two streets that most people don't traverse. It's not a major thoroughfare. So the level of peace and nature that can be found on this pond is quite a delightful surprise to most people. When we consider the encroachment, that implies great expansion. And with great expansion, you have great displacement of earth and nature. And I will tell you, last year, as this construction got underway, my pond view disappeared. We were so algae-ridden because of runoff that I can tell you it was the worst I had seen in 42 years. And so I asked you to consider, obviously we have neighborhood norms and safety and security, but just environmentally, what it means to keep projects like this within scale. Because if I can be a proponent for the longevity of this pond, I would certainly like to see it prosper for the next 43 years. I may not be here to see it, but it should outlive us. It should, extend beyond my residency there. But we and my family have all these years taken great care to maintain the natural beauty of this pond, and we've seen it affected gravely in the last 18 months.
Okay. Anyone else would like to speak?
I'm the homeowner at 4294 Country Trail.
And your name?
Sean's here. So the only variance that I was asking, we are not 16 feet. We followed the plans that we were allowed to. The only thing we wanted was.
So
for a
you're the
wall.
applicant?
Correct.
Oh, well,
But Mosher designed it for me, Matt did, and Alex is my landscaper.
we're kind of doing this in reverse now. So I thought you weren't here, and that's why Matt Mosher. So do you want us to go forward? So we're going to need, all I was going to do was take the public comment. We need as-bills, so I think we need to have those, the motion. Because the other reason we don't want to have you speak is the board then would be different. So you're going to need to come back. My suggestion is you're going to need to come back, and we're going to have as-bills to see where things are built. So do you understand that requirement?
Yes.
Okay.
But what they're saying is
So
correct.
it's really in your best interest not to say anything. Here's why. Right now, you've only got 5 people here, and if you say something or go forward, this group would have to make the decision. We've taken the public comment. I'm going to keep it open. But if you don't say anything, you would have the opportunity to have a full board with 7 people, which is really better for you. So do you understand how that's better for you?
Yes.
So Matt's nodding his head, so I think he kind of understands how this works. So you can just sit down. Okay, and I'm sorry, I'm going to do it. So we're going to keep the public hearing open. Is there anyone else in the public that wants to speak? All right, so we're going to keep this open. So we have a motion now.
All right, I would move to table this item for further information and the submission of as-built plans and renotice as required, and to continue the public hearing at that time.
Support. So I have a motion and support to get additional information and table any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It's tabled. The applicant understands, and I think Matt understands what we need. So let's call the next item. Item 74455 Charing Cross.
Hello, I'm Dan Fletcher, the owner of 4455 Charing Cross. There's been a little bit of confusion. We just would like to retain the fence that we put up. We did get a permit for the fence. We do have dogs, but we got the permit because there's a big coyote that roams that neighborhood. I think you probably are aware of that.
Hey, excuse me, you cannot speak. If you want to carry on a conversation, I'm going to ask you to leave because we're still conducting a public meeting here, and we just want to hear from the applicant. So I'll give you some time to step out. I'm sorry, please continue.
Yeah, so we got the permit because we wanted to protect our grandchildren when they visit. And we have a small fence there for a new puppy we got that's being trained, but it came along that it actually helps have the fence with the dogs, of course, but. So where it says we wanted to extend it, we didn't want to do that. We just wanted to show you if we followed the variance code, it would be into our front and side yard. So our house goes up to a Waddles and it's up a hill and it's an oblong, weird.
So you just want the existing fence?
You just want to retain the existing 4-foot fence?
That's correct.
Not
Okay.
that, perfect.
Okay.
Trying to make it easy for you after.
That's great.
We appreciate that. Any questions from the board?
I have no question.
So open this to the public. Anyone like to speak on this item? I'll close the public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Please do, Chris. Thank you.
So I think our packet might be a little off. So all we're doing is permission request for the existing dog enclosure fence. And I don't believe, does the existing dog enclosure fence have the encroachment still?
I don't think it does.
No, it doesn't. It's
It
at
doesn't.
least 4 feet.
It's
Well,
not encroaching into the
Setback?
setback.
No.
Well, is it along your back property line? Is it like on the property line in the back?
It's 4 foot from the property line. And I do have letters from my neighbors in the back and.
I'm just trying to figure out how to make this, that's all. I'm gonna need clarification then from,
So if we're only approving the existing fence, the red line,
Is that just a permission request then?
I believe it's the yellow portion that's the request.
no, he said he
He
does
just
not
said-
want it.
he doesn't want to extend it. He just wants the existing fence, which,
Permission for the existing one, the red.
Andrew, there's some miscommunication, or my wife was showing if we put the fence up where it would be in the front and on the side.
Okay. So we're trying to determine if your request is consistent with what the ask was within the notice.
If that is, again, is it encroaching into the rear setback or
Right.
side yard setback? Because technically,
Is this for a dog enclosure?
yeah.
It was not for dog enclosure, it's to protect my grandchildren from the coyote that's there.
But it's a 4-foot fence,
Yes.
so it ended up being a dog enclosure because he has a dog now.
Right.
So we would have to verify that we'd have to understand what is the setback of that existing fence from both assuming that the top of your page is north,
Yes.
and then also what is the part that's measured 34 feet, what is the distance of that lot line?
From our side neighbor, the Richardson, we're definitely more than 16 feet back from the side.
Okay.
From the back, we are not the 25 feet that it asked for.
Okay.
For the dog, that would put us almost onto our patio.
Okay. So that being said,
And I have letters from both neighbors, which you got.
yeah, and it does say that they're encroaching 25 feet, so so it believed that you should be able to act based on what was noticed. They're talking about expanding it, therefore encroaching 25 feet and 16 feet into the rear and easterly, because we wanted to be very careful, and we did presume that it was on the lot line, so we should be covered.
Okay.
Sorry,
It's
okay,
You're
we're
doing
trying to
great.
get it right.
So in regards to permission request for the existing dog fence at the address of 4455 Charing Cross Road for the dog fence, I move the request be approved. We're going to call it as amended. Okay? Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance for -42-76 standards because the use of this accessory structure is appropriate in the neighborhood. You want to protect your dog, also happen to be for your grandkids. Again, now the dimensional variance for the existing dog fence enclosure. I moved the variant, for their appeal at the same address, again, 4455 Char Crossing. I moved the variance be approved as, we're gonna say amended, for the existing dog fence for the one along your back and your side, not into that proposed area. So again, existing, red line only. I move the variance be approved. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with stipulated the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because, again, if we would do the 25-foot off the setback, it'd be onto your patio, would not allow you to be the protection of the dog as well as your grandchildren. There is no injustice to the adjoining neighbors by the reason of you got letters from them, and again, this is 4 feet and below. New restrictions of the property have been demonstrated given the fact of, again, your topography of your property as well as its shape is unique to itself. And then this is not self-created because of the fact, again, you have a lot of side yard, not as much depth in that backyard. If this motion is approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 5 business days. Okay? And then I'm not going to require additional evergreen screening because you are not putting into your front yard.
Support.
Motion and support, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, your request as
Thank you,
modified
Council.
is granted.
Thank you.
Calling item 86360 Hills Drive.
Hi, my name is Rick Wyand. I'm here with Randy Spania, my partner. I'm with SW Luxury Homes. Our client is out of town on business, I believe. He's not in town. And we're asking for permission to build an accessory structure adjacent to a pool. And I believe we have a second variance that is with respect to the guideline size of an accessory structure. With respect to that, we built a relatively, could you go back to the previous screen if possible? Yes, thank you. Our home it's a newly constructed home. It could have been as large as 19,000 square feet of first floor coverage. We built it at about 6%, 7%. And had we made it large, a larger garage that would fit more comfortably, easily on the property, we wouldn't be asking for the second variance. Because our formula, I believe, would allow us to, is that correct, Andrea?
You were saying that if it was,
If the house is bigger.
We built a small, we built a small house.
But if you made the
Had we
thing,
built,
cabana smaller, you wouldn't need that variance.
right, but we wouldn't be able to, overall, with the cabana, we're less than 10% lot coverage, including the cabana. So I was trying to put this into perspective.
Yeah.
It's a relatively
You
large.
could have had a
lot.
bigger house, and that would have
Yeah,
changed the
so-
ratio of the cabana.
We think it's a reasonable request with regard to that.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
I guess just some points of discussion. Your landscape plan seems to be a little light. So if a motion is approved, I'm going to need additional screening.
So those trees are 18 to 22 feet.
But if I see gaps in between them, are there,
Pardon? Oh,
the way you
we're-
have it, there are gaps in between them.
We would be happy to do that.
Perfect.
Wouldn't we be happy? He would be happy, I wouldn't, a client would as well.
We're glad you're happy.
So I
We're
just-
here to
I
make
wanna-
We'd like
people,
to make you happy.
well, we're here to make people happy, so I like that.
I don't want to spend your client's money, but that is a request that
No,
you've heard.
they would be fine with that. This
Okay.
was a
That's
landscaper's
great.
suggestion.
Any other questions? Open this to the public. Okay, would you like to come up and give us your name and address?
I guess I should get out of the way, right?
You defer to the public speaking now.
Good evening. I'm Judy Lindstrom, and I'm directionally inept. I live behind this, and it's a lovely house. I live behind the house So I'm not sure with what he showed where this cabana is going to be.
What's your address?
6239 Thorncrest Drive.
So you live to the north corner.
Okay. To me, this is north, that's what I'm saying, I'm directionally.
You're doing great.
Okay, thank you. I'm assuming that it's going to be next to the garage area from the house? Or is it?
The side of the
Yeah.
garage.
Well,
Yeah, on
No.
that side.
On the side, okay.
Yeah.
And then how far from my property line is the cabana going to be built? And then I'll be
well,
self.
he'll answer that, so
Oh, okay.
the way it works is you talk to us.
Okay, got you. I'm
and then
sorry,
he-
that's right. You gave those strict instructions.
Well, that's,
So,
everything I say is loose, that's just sort of.
no, I'm
So,
trying to follow.
yeah, you have to talk to
absolutely.
us, you have to talk to us, and then he'll respond.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I've lived there 10-plus years. That was my parents' home, and I purchased it about 10 years ago from them. And it's, their house, the house that they built is lovely, and I'm sure that the cabana will be lovely. And I want to be a good neighbor, but I also want to be a little bit selfish. And as the speakers for number 6 talked about, my yard has become my oasis. I have hundreds of azaleas and rhodies, deer that don't eat my things. I don't know why, but I'm glad. But I do know from the people who live directly behind us, they built a cabana, and every weekend, it's not as bad now, but every weekend, it has forced us to go inside. The music is so loud, and it's taken away from my way of living. And so I can't be selfish. I know that there's going to be houses, but I just was concerned when I saw that this was coming and being built. I just want to make sure that there is reciprocity on both ends. I mean, I'll be quiet. I have a pool, so my nephews are 11 years old, and they're loud on a Saturday morning for sure. But my worry is that I have these huge speakers from the house next to mine, directly behind, and then on the corner, I just don't want to have to compete with music and have my lifestyle change simply because this cabana's been built. And it's more, not an aesthetic. I think the aesthetics will be fine. I'm hoping that there'll be a lot of landscaping. My house is certainly pretty much covered from seeing the house, but that's my only worry.
Okay, thank you for your feedback.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else like to speak? So I'll close public hearing and then have the applicant respond. You can come back up and speak into the microphone, please.
So that would be the northwest corner of the cabana. On the property line is your property line. Can I speak to her, or do I want to speak to you or
You're still
everybody?
speaking to us, but, okay.
I'll sort of pretend I'm.
She's listening.
She has a lovely yard. I used to live across the street from her, so.
Oh, okay.
I can't tell you, I'm not prepared to tell you how many feet we are from her house, but it's a substantial difference.
Well, just tell her how far you are from the property line.
Can we zoom in on that?
I can't.
The most, it looks like it's about 25 feet.
From that, and then what's the side yard setback?
The side yard is 40, 50 feet.
It looks like it's about 67.
Thank you.
Good work.
Thank you. I just
Good
made that up.
glasses.
And then she has concerns about music.
I can tell you, our client, I don't know if they like music or not.
Okay.
Are there speakers in the cabana?
No, we don't plan to have any. We have some speakers on the back porch. Randy? No outdoor speakers.
So that may mitigate her concern.
Yes, and I understand because I heard the same music.
You do, yes, I know, because I remember you
Yeah.
had telephone on your hat, and still do.
Your neighbors. So you'll treat her like a neighbor.
Well, we hope we did while we were there.
Okay. All right, so back to this. So we got commitment for screening.
Yes.
No speakers.
Correct. There's a speaker.
Sorry about that.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to confiscate your phone.
Any other questions from the board? Okay. Then let's have a motion.
I'd like to
Would
make, go ahead, Carol.
Okay, with respect to the property located at 6360 Hills Drive, I'm going to start with the permission request. I would move to approve the permission request for the cabana because the applicant has demonstrated compliance with section 42-7.6 standards. The use is compatible with the neighbors, it's appropriate for the neighborhood and does not hinder or discourage the adjacent use of property. I would also move to grant the request for the dimensional variance, which would allow for the accessory structure to exceed 50% of the ground floor area by 87 square feet because the applicant has demonstrated practical difficulty. Compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome. This property is large, and the home that was constructed is actually relatively small in comparison to the size of the lot, thereby creating this variance need by the accessory structure. There's no injustice to the adjoining neighbors, and the unique circumstances I've discussed with respect to the size of the property in comparisons to the home that was built in the other structures. It's not self-created as well. Application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. And evergreen planting shall be required to completely screen the cabana from public view and must meet or exceed the height of the structure at the time of planting. What I forget? You're looking at me.
No, again,
Huh?
so, and single-family
Oh,
affidavit.
okay.
And then, again, how tall is the structure?
13, 14 feet,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So-
All these questions. I was gonna bring all the boards, but I
14
understood we're up
feet.
here.
So the trees will be 14 feet or higher on planting.
So far, they're planned to be 16 to 22 feet.
So how about we just say 16 feet?
Okay,
So minimum planting for 16 feet. Thank you.
Sure.
Wow.
And you understand the single-family affidavit as well?
yes.
Okay.
You
Support.
can't live in it.
Tom explained that to us.
Okay.
Yes.
Support.
So I have a motion and support. Any discussion?
Just quick, I don't know if we had to address Chris's concern, or just looking at the landscape plan, making sure that it's more tightly.
I think they understand.
It's
I
already,
assume we're going to bring it back
Okay.
to Tom or Andrea for approval.
Your screening plan will be reviewed after, as part of your building permit to make sure that the motion is being met.
Thank you.
thank you.
And I imagine your clients want to get this done, so you'll do the same
No,
thing.
we absolutely will.
Perfect, so, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so we're in the discussion part, so now we're going to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Your request is granted.
Thank you.
So calling the next item,
9.
are we on 9? No,
Yeah,
10.
9.
No? Oh, 9. 1919 Lone Pine.
Hello, Board. My name is Jacob Mansour. I'm the lead designer here at Triac Landscaping, and I'm here seeking a permission request for a pergola pool house structure. It's within all the setbacks of our yard. It's going to be cladded in the same exact material as the house. It's going to look exactly like the house. In the actual structure, if you could see on those renders, is just a simple bathroom, and we're going to also do one side of bathroom, one side of pool equipment storage, so we don't have to put the noisy pool equipment by anybody. And then attached to that structure is going to be like a pergola, kind of a cost-effective way of gaining a pool house without building all these crazy structures for my clients. And then also seeking a permission request for those typical pillars like we see in these high-end Bloomfield homes with some fire columns, sort of like a nice ambiance to look at centered on the living room of that house. On the left side of the property, there's already existing arborvitae screening by the neighbor. On the right side, there is no neighbor, and we're still gonna put some screening there. And on the rear, there also is no house in sight, and I'm gonna leave that screening up to them. We still might do it. We just wanna see if we're gonna go all the way and do that. So this is my request.
Any questions from the board?
Your neighbor's screening does not count.
Oh, okay. Was unaware of that. If you go to that last picture, like they couldn't see in our property at all. But if we want to put arborvitaes against our arborvitaes, I mean,
Some type of screening, as you, this has been a,
yeah.
this is kind of a
yeah.
pattern here.
Not sure that I understand like the screening aspect of everything. It's to my understanding that what I'm proposing coincides exactly with the house. It's just detached from the house. Like it's gonna be the same pitch of the roof, the same stone, the same stucco. It's really gonna look
So
part of that house.
The spirit of our ordinance for accessory structures, I believe, unless it's a garage that houses a car or a boat, it requires screening.
Gotcha.
So you have a detached garage, there's some latitude there.
Understood.
So, but it still is all up to the board. So
Understood.
the spirit of our ordinance says that we're gonna screen it. So you have a pool house in this that is, how many feet high?
At the top point of the roof, it will be 12 feet.
So you will be required to have screening on, so that none of your neighbors or anybody from public view can see it, 12 feet at time of planting.
Understood.
So whether that's an arborvitae, whether that's a tree, whether that's a.
Right, evergreen.
Whatever you want, that is 365 coverage. So I understand that your clients might not have had that, and they have a beautiful plan here.
Yeah,
That has to be done.
gotcha. And to my understanding, it has to be done on a side that has a neighbor and field of view of a neighbor?
Yeah,
I-
public
I-
view, so that.
Yeah.
the
Public
neigh-
view, yeah, so,
It's pretty isolated other than that side.
right, right. That side that exists with arborvitae's is the
Right.
only person who could possibly see them, but, okay. Where it's funny, because we were planning on doing it on the other side, and I told them there's nobody there, and they wanted it on the other side, but.
Well, we're all for additional landscaping.
Yeah,
if you do.
absolutely.
So,
That's good, green is good, yeah, we like
And
that.
you can explain to them what the spirit of the law is.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
So, and again, with how beautiful this is, I imagine they would like the privacy,
of course.
so.
All right, so I'll open the public hearing for this item. Close the public hearing. Bring it back for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd love to make a motion.
Thank
In
you.
regards to the appeal at 1919 Lone Pine Road for the accessory structure, I move the request be approved as submitted, based on the information presented, well, as amended. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance for section 42-76 standards because the use of this accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood. Talked about, said plenty of people have this makes sense for the neighborhood, and it'll be a beautiful addition for the property. If this motion is approved, all application for necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to the installation of this. Additional evergreen screenings shall be required, and will screen the pool house and those gas fire I didn't say, we're also gonna say the gas fire pillars from public view, and must meet or exceed the height of those structures at time of plantings. Again, 12 feet.
support.
Motion and support, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
Thank you, board. Have a good night.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Calling item 10, 810 Highwood.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Caitlin Faria. I'm the landscape architect representing the Kubians at 810 Highwood. I have Tony Kubian, one of the homeowners, here with me, and I also have John Beninati, the pool contractor, here for support. We are here tonight seeking approval for two items. One for a dimensional variance for a pool fence along the western edge of the property, which runs along Squirrel Road. This is a corner lot, so that's considered a secondary front yard. So that's why we're here before you tonight. The second item is for a permissions request for a tiered decorative fountain located in the rear yard. Yep, in that, shown in the 3D image, which is incorporated into like a rear garden patio. And that would be about 6 foot height. The exact fixture hasn't been picked, but kind of industry standard for something tiered like that is between 4.5 and 6 feet. So we're here tonight to seek approval for both of those. The dimensional variance, I just want to address that fence along Squirrel Road. That's actually going to be in from the property line just under 14 feet, so at 13'8". We're also planning on screening that with larger evergreens, something like a green giant western cedar along that western property line between the road and the fence itself. So the fence would be screened from public view along the road. And then we have the fence is placed in compliant location everywhere else for dog containment. So we've brought that in, and there's been additional screening that the homeowner would like to incorporate, actually a mix of deciduous and evergreen along the southern and eastern property lines.
You have a dog?
They do. And I have Tony here with me.
2 kids.
Yeah, 2 kids. I have Tony here with me. He's going to speak to a little of like the proactive outreach that we've done with the neighbors. We have 6 letters of support that you should also have in your packet from all surrounding neighbors to this property. And I'm here for any questions as well. Tony, you want to speak to that?
Sure. Yep, so my family, we're new to Bloomfield Hills, so we're very excited to be here. I've got 2 children, 4 and 7, and a couple of mini schnauzers. So we're all happy to be here. But at any rate, we want to be good neighbors, of course. We spoke to all of our surrounding neighbors. There are 4 on our block and 2 across the street from us, across from Highwood. And I'm happy to say that all of them were willing to sign off and give letters of support for our plan. And I certainly appreciate your time and consideration tonight. Thank you.
So it says it's a pool fence, not a dog fence. Can it be a pool and dog fence? Pool dog fence?
Yeah, see, the problem is it wasn't noticed as a dog enclosure area.
But do they
And
have
I do apologize because I'm looking at your application.
I know,
It
I was
does
gonna
look
say, I
like-
think we checked that.
So
on the
that was
application.
overlooked that was a mistake at our end. So we're gonna have to rectify that situation and bring this back, but they certainly could take action on the secondary frontage location of the fence, because that would be a variance regardless, because a dog fence would be allowed in a secondary frontage. And then they could definitely take action on the fountain itself, and then what we would do is we could bring you back next month and make sure that you're the first on the agenda.
But if it's a dog enclosure, isn't that permitted? Well, it's just a secondary frontage aspect?
And, well, the secondary frontage, the fact that we didn't notice it for a dog enclosure, and because the fencing along the rear lot line to the south and to the east would be, do you know the setbacks of those fencing? The,
I think we might need a variance.
Oh, that's right,
yeah.
because it's a dog
As
fence,
far
not a
as,
pool fence.
yeah, so I think we're 21.7 at the
Okay.
closest off of
Okay.
the east.
Okay.
And then the south, that maintains 25.
So we're probably okay there, right?
But again, it's the roadside that will need it still. There's a variance if they're 13.5 feet.
If the setbacks, from what I'm hearing, is 16 feet off the side lot line and 25 feet off that rear lot line, that would meet the setback requirements for a dog enclosure.
But right now you have it at 13 feet, correct? You said 13.5?
In the secondary front yard.
In the
And
which would be a variance regardless.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason for that is that's just an existing, kind of like, it slopes down from there's like a little split rail fence along the road. I don't know if the image is in there, Corey, but it slopes down and there's kind of like a natural spot there that the fence would run. And it's also the only flat area up top for them to kind of use. So bringing that in is just not practical. So that's why it's 13'8".
I'd like to open this to the public for comment. Please come up, give us your name and address.
Good evening. Good evening. My name's Cameron Dash. I live at 884 Highwood Drive, which is just a few blocks away from this. I've lived on Highwood Drive for the last 36 years. I have a swimming pool, and I raised 2 children living with the swimming pool, so I'm very concerned about pool safety. I'm glad to report that we only had 1 child fall into the pool, and we had an adult sitting next to them when that happened. I'm here to oppose the proposed fence. While meeting some of the requirements for a dog fence, it definitely does not meet the requirements for a pool fence. Now, I understand that there's some question about the application here. I'm on the Eastover Farms #1 Building Committee. We met with the Cubians and the designer and the pool guy to review all this, and so we've had an open discussion about that, and that we have not approved this plan. First of all, I'd like to refer to the Bloomfield Township Ordinance 10/2028, which controls the swimming pool fences. This in turn is based on the 2015 International Swimming Pool and Spas Code Section 305. And to quote, "The perimeter barrier, the fence, design requires that in this section are especially focused on preventing children from having access to an area where potential drowning is high. Clearly, this fence does not keep children away from the pool, but keeps children with access available to the pool. So the fence needs to be brought in close to the patio area around the pool in order to comply with the international standards which we rely upon. On the setback on the west side of the property, there's no reason why they can't comply with the 16-foot setbacks required for dog enclosures. There's plenty of space. There's no practical reason which would require it to be any closer to the wall there.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else would like to speak? Wait, are you the applicant?
I'm the contractor.
For the pool. But you're,
For the pool.
but you're part of the applicant
Yeah.
team,
Yeah,
so.
can I speak to the code stuff?
After
On the
the
fence?
public hearing.
Yeah, as a rep.
Yeah, so I have to close the public hearing before you can speak. So is there anyone else that would like to speak? All right, I'll close the public hearing. So the applicant can now respond, of which the pool contractor can go quickly first.
Okay, thank you. We're currently on a 2018 International Pool Spa Code book. I believe that the city has adopted that, the whole state has or should have already. You could interpret that code on the fence many different ways. It doesn't dictate how far away it needs to be. It simply says it has to have a non-climbable barrier, 48 inches tall, with the gates swinging out. It doesn't say how far it can be. It's not in the code. It just says it has to have non-climbable barrier of some sorts around it.
Thank you.
That's all.
Understand that,
Yeah, because, all right, do you want to, the applicant or the applicant's representative, do you want to address any of the other comments about moving the fence in or?
Sure. We look to the board to make a recommendation just based on the ordinance of Bloomfield Township, and I think we're in compliance here, obviously not with the secondary front yard location, but that's why we're in front of you tonight, so.
We can't even vote on the fence anyways, correct?
No, I guess not.
So.
I mean, does it even matter on the fountain if we're gonna table the fence?
Yeah, it seems to me like we ought to do it all
Yeah.
together.
Well, I think
But
so.
if they came here and they may be doing the contracting for that, those are two separate contractors, so. Again, the notice was on our fault, so if it was a mistake in the applicant, it's a different story. But I would be inclined to vote on that one.
They're wondering if they're
Does it help
questioning
you?
whether or not to take it.
Does it
I'm
help
sorry.
you to
We have to
vote on the
renotice.
fountain tonight?
Yeah.
Or does it
That would
matter?
be, that would be fine if you would like to. I just ask if the fence, I know it's in the secondary front yard, but if that were at 16, does that change your decision as far as not being able to vote on it?
No, our problem is it wasn't noticed as a
noticed it
dog
wrong.
enclosure.
Okay,
fence.
so that had to have been,
Yes,
So
where?
it's not,
Okay.
it's the notice part, it's not.
sure.
it's not,
No, I understood, I just didn't know if maybe that
Could move it,
made
yes.
any difference, so. Okay, yeah, would you like them to vote on the fountain? Do you want to wait?
Your thoughts, we can wait.
I think just one motion, next meeting is easier, if you don't
Okay,
mind.
You're not referring
Then
to
Chairman, I'd like to make a
bids.
motion that we table this.
Okay.
I'll support.
Motion and support, motion to table and support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Table.
Thanks for your
Thank you
time.
for your
We'll make
feedback.
sure you're on the top of the agenda.
Thanks, Andrea.
Although I know you enjoyed watching tonight. Okay.
Good evening, Patrick Funky, Dual Landscape Architecture. We are the petitioners and landscape
It's deja vu.
Yeah. We are the landscape architects and petitioners for the Hills Alone Pine Association. We were here in the fall and received approval for some security fencing along Echo Road, 6-foot-high ornamental aluminum as recommendation from the Bloomfield Township Police Department. After we received approval, some of the owners within the Hills Alone Pine Association requested that we continue the fence along the common areas that were approved. So we went in front of the Design Review Board and received unanimous approval this a couple weeks ago. And we are here today to request the dimensional variance along Echo Road for the 4 properties listed in the application. And I'm here to answer any questions.
So this now will connect that whole section, right?
Correct. It'll be one continuous fence.
We had talked about that, like, it seemed interesting associated with the kind of the choppiness of the fence.
Yeah, so the police department only identified initially public areas that the Hills of Lone Pine own. And then once the neighbors start to, understood what we were proposing, they wanted to take down their ugly fences or farm fences and continue this fence. So it'll be contiguous along Echo Road. It's very heavily vegetated during the growing season.
I remember the meeting last time.
Remember it.
Yep. Open this to the public. Like to comment?
Cameron Dash, 884 Highway Drive. My question is,
You gotta come-
So you have
Cam-
to come to the microphone, Mr. Dash.
it's a regulatory question. So this section of road is a state scenic byway? It is?
It's not a state road. Echo Road.
It's not a state road, it's a state scenic byway, and there are requirements that it must preserve. My question is that in conflict with state requirements?
No.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak? Close public hearing. Bring it back for discussion or motion.
This fence will be located on private property, not in the public right-of-way of Echo Road.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
please do.
In regards to the appeal at the following addresses: 4826 West Wickford, 4760 West Wickford, 1258 Connington Row, 1268 Connington Row, for the dimensional variance for the install of a 6-foot high fence along the Hills of Lone Pine perimeter. I move the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all stands for practical difficulty because compliance with strict ordinance would be unduly burdensome, because again, they were having trespassers, people walking under their property, and it was identified by the police department to have this type of security. There is no injustice to the adjoining neighbors by the reason of, these are the neighbors requesting it, and again, this is a heavily wooded area, very dense. Unique circumstances of the property have been demonstrated, given the fact that, again, there's already fencing that's approved in certain areas. This creates a continuity of the same type of fencing. This is not self-created because, again, we already approve variances for fencing in these other public areas. This will just continue to connect it and make it more visually appealing to our residents. If this is approved, all necessary permits must be obtained within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to the installation of any products.
Support.
Motion and support, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is
Thank you very
granted. Calling item 12, 7400 Telegraph.
Good evening, I'm Melanie Weber. I'm representing 7400 Telegraph Road, Temple Bethel. We're proposing the installation of 2 access-controlled gates along our Telegraph Road frontage, a pull gate located at the northmost point of the property near 14 Mayo, and a lift gate positioned closer to our building. Together, these gates will create a controlled entry point that significantly strengthens the safety and security of our campus. This system is a vital security measure designed to protect our community, students, and staff by ensuring that any authorized individuals can access the property, especially during school hours and active programming. In today's environment, this level of access control is essential to maintaining a safe and secure campus. Both gates will be fully integrated into our security infrastructure, and the lift gate will properly be equipped with access capabilities for the local police and fire departments, ensuring immediate unobstructed entry for first responders at all times. This installation is a proactive and necessary step in enhancing our overall security and reflects an unwavering commitment to providing a safe, secure, and well-protected environment for all of our utilized on campus.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
I just have,
Which gate?
Both of them. The lift gate is the one that's closer to the building that you see on the right-hand side, and the one on the left side is the pole gate.
Which is going to be more towards the northern side for the new development, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the lift gate seems like, I totally understand why you want this, okay? This, don't take any of this negative, but it just seems like the lift gate, you just drive right through it. It's just a wooden arm, right?
No, it's electric.
It's a what?
I mean, you cannot enter into the property, it's only for exiting the property.
Carol is suggesting it's not a strong enough barrier.
Yeah.
But that's not for us to.
No, I just was curious why you selected that, because it's, you can just drive right through that, right? Just a thought.
Was this recommended by your security
Yeah,
consultant?
I was
Yes,
curious- I
it
was
was
curious why they
discussed by
recommended
the Federation with their security as well as with our security team and other local law enforcement, that Bloomfield Hills Township fully
They thought
supports
that
us, and they've been amazing helping us navigate through all of this, and everything has been discussed with them.
Perfect.
I just was
I mean,
curious if it was
I had the same
secure
reaction
enough.
when I
Yeah.
looked at it, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
not for us, so they must do it also.
And they can always come back and upgrade it if they want, right?
Exactly,
This
exactly.
is the start in the right
Just
direction.
something to watch and think about.
When you
No,
look
I
at some of the
appreciate that.
steel,
Thank
the
you.
fences
Hopefully you never have to
Right.
use it.
100%,
Exactly.
that is our goal.
I'll open the public. Anyone like to speak on this item?
Don Eller, 7145 Glen Grove, Temple Bethel has been my good neighbors for 30-plus years. If they want to put in something like this, I'm all for it.
That's wonderful.
Thanks, Don.
That's really nice of you to stay through this meeting to say that, so. Anyone else would like to speak? Close the public hearing and bring it back for a motion, discussion.
Chairman, you want to go, Carrie, or want me to?
Sure, I'll go. With respect to the, you want to go?
I would love to.
Okay.
So in respect to the variance request, we're going to go permission request first. At 7400 Telegraph Road, I approve for the accessory structure, I approve the variance be approved as submitted. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-76 standards because the use of this accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood because, again, we've seen the changes in time, what's going on. So additional security at your facility makes perfect sense. Secondary, for the dimensional variance, because the gates are going to be in the front yard, at the appeal at 7400 Telegraph Road, I move the variance be approved as requested based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because you'd not be able to provide security for your congregation. There is no injustice to your adjoining neighbor by the reason of not only do your neighbors are in support of it, but again, this is about safety. Unique circumstances of this property have been demonstrated given the fact of, well, you can all read the news and see what's going on. So again, additional security measures on that property would be perfect. This is not self-created due to the environmental factors. If approved, all necessary permits must be obtained within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to any installation.
Support, but I have something to add if possible. I noticed in reading the, when you went to the design review board, the fire department had 4 specific recommendations for you, and I would like to incorporate those as part of our motion as well. And
Yes.
that would be from the April 1, 2026 meeting.
And to hold harmless.
If that's okay.
Yes.
Is that one of those ones in there?
Why don't
well,
you let her know in case she can't
Yeah,
remember?
I think she remembers. Okay, the driveway width must not be further restricted. The gates must include emergency access features such as a Knox key switch for emergency entry, an SOS emergency vehicle preemption system, and a full open mechanism that allows the gates to automatically open upon power loss or activation.
Correct. We
Yes.
already got the we got the estimate and we're ready.
Okay, perfect. I just think the minutes should reflect that
That's
as
a
well.
great idea.
And hold harmless.
Correct, and the hold harmless, which you meant to add.
I did meant to. Thank you so much for helping me, Carol.
Okay, support for the amended version?
So we have a motion and support for the amended motion with some really great detail in it. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted. Calling item 132527 Telegraph.
Good evening. Richie Etto with DCD Bloomfield is the property owner, and Evelyn here is the tenant. that's getting ready to open up a great new bakery in the township. And we're here again for around the 7th or 8th time because our monument sign is a necessary part of letting people know how to get in and out of the property. And since the ordinance only allows one sign, even though there's a existing sign that's been approved, every time a tenant needs to add a spot on that monument sign, as well as their building sign, it requires a variance, so we're here for that variance. And also, the prior tenant on the corner had 2 signs because it's hard to see the way the building is rotated. Obviously, it's a difficult site. We have our addresses on Telegraph Road, but yet we have no telegraph ingress or egress. It's shared with the property next door. So we respectfully ask for the variance for the excess in square footage to have the 2 building signs, as well as the name on the existing monument sign that's been in existence for many years, and you know, we'll keep coming back if ever another tenant needed to have a name on it, because that's the whole purpose of the sign. And if you have a minute or two, I'd like to introduce Evelyn to tell you just a little bit about the business that she's planning to open here shortly, if you don't mind.
Sure thing. You've waited this long, we can listen to what you're cooking up.
Hi. Yeah. Hi, I'm Evelyn Argiro-Castritis. This is Glikos Bakehouse. It's going to be based off of my Greek heritage, some traditional bakes, as well as in-house baked everything from from your baguettes to your focaccias. All your sandwiches will be baked on our home-baked breads. All our pastries, everything is in-house, locally sourced and green and organic, so it's going to be hopefully very delightful. Will hopefully open some point mid this summer. I just wanted to make one note, if I could, in regard to the sign and the extra square footage. The other units, so this unit used to be one whole unit that was separated into 2 units. And the other units on the building do have like this white alcove of like a concrete base behind, and we are a sign against all brick and brown brick, which is why we just wanted it to stand out a little bit. And so I just wanted to make that point. I think we did submit images at the design planning meeting of our neighbors and their signage, I believe. So I just wanted to note that, but thank you for your time.
Will you be full now? Is there any other space left after this?
Yeah, I took the last one.
That's what I thought. You're full now, right? Oh.
The reason there's 5 positions on the sign is because the last tenant that moved in, the Verizon, they took
Yeah, I
2
remember.
spaces. They wanted more space because they liked it, the location and being in the township. So I don't know what'll happen with the last panel, but we may ask to put the address there just to make it easier to identify.
Okay. I'll open this to the public. Anyone want to comment on this sign? Close public hearing. And we'll need a motion.
With respect to property located at 2527 South Telegraph Road, I would move to grant the request for dimensional variance because the applicant has demonstrated practical difficulty. This property is unique both in its size and the way it's located on the 2 very heavily traveled roads. In addition, the building itself is not positioned straight on any road and is angled, making it difficult to actually see what tenants are within the structure. And I think that's unique to the property and creates a real difficulty, and it's not self-created. If this motion is approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year. All permits must be obtained prior to installation of the signs.
Support.
Motion and support, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And the part of the public comment of the next tenant, I support Mr. Butler.
Okay, so calling item 14, 1801 South Telegraph.
Last but not least, eh? Good evening, Jim Butler with PEA Group. I'm here on behalf of J. Zimmer Development Company. We are proposing the construction of a new Culver's Restaurant on Telegraph Road. Essentially, it'll be in the parking lot of the existing Lowe's facility, essentially along the frontage of that piece. So tonight, we're asking your consideration for 2 permission requests and 6 dimensional variances. I'll handle the permission request, and gentlemen from Metro Signs will be handling the signage. The first request is related to the location of the ground transformer. This is a unique parcel once we divide this thing up. Our transformer is located at the rear of our building. It's close proximity to the rear of the building, but unfortunately, given the way the parcel's laid out, it doesn't fall in the rear setback, it actually falls in the side yard setback. For us to put it into this rear setback, we'd have to move it from the building and put it more towards the north. It is fully screened. It's actually screened by the dumpster that's there, and we do have vegetative screening around it. The second permission request is for a shed. We have an over-incised dumpster location. If Corey, you can kind of zoom in on that area behind the building. There are 2 dumpsters. There are 2 containers that are there. And then there is a shed that we are proposing that is contained within the dumpster enclosure. This is for snow blowers, for landscaping, for power washing, things like that to maintain the property.
Thank you, Jim. Good evening, everyone. My name is Paul Dieters. I am with Metro Signs and Lighting, 11444 Colts Avenue in Warren. And as Jim had mentioned here, we sort of have an unusual location. And so as a result of that, the owner is asking for your consideration for some additional wall signage. But it's part of the challenge of this location is because of the building's orientation to the road and also the topography for southbound traffic. When they're approaching the site, they're cresting a hill there. And there's several trees in the median between this. As you know, cars are going to be traveling at an awfully high rate of speed there. There's not a traffic light immediately adjacent to this. What we're hoping to be able to do is get some wall signage that will make it easier for cars to be able to get into the proper lane, identify where the Culver's is so that they can enter the site. We do have a ground sign that you don't see here that's been approved as part of the package or applied for. That's fairly small. The issue is that the ground sign, just the way everything laid out, is 95 feet north of the entry drive. That's really a long way away for somebody going probably 60 miles an hour, let's call it at least, on Telegraph there. So having some wall signs a little bit higher up in their sight line, preferably facing Telegraph, and then the south elevation maybe over the front door, even as they're headed north, which is, I know we're asking for a lot, but it's difficult to see this location. So we're asking for to be able to have these relatively modestly sized Culver's identification signs on the building to enable people to identify that a little bit easier as they're heading into that from Telegraph Road.
So as you're going north on Telegraph, and you've got the Lowe's on your right-hand side, that sign is actually past where you're supposed to turn in to go.
It's 100 feet north of it.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's going to make it really difficult but we couldn't put it right next to the Lowe's sign, and it's not really on their property. It's a little bit farther away. And most people would generally think that ground sign is right at the entry, and they're going to need to identify the building before that, and what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to turn around twice to get back in there, and that's probably going to cost them some customers if that's the case. So
I could make a comment that the ground sign could be considered to be their primary sign by right because it complies. Okay, so that could technically be removed from this request in the sense if that's their one permitted sign because it complies.
Okay.
We listed it because of all the secondary, tertiary, and however you go up amount of signs. So I just want to put that before the board for consideration.
Okay.
Chairman? I have a
Yes.
question. I don't have a question on the sign. I'm gonna go back to the other gentleman. Do most of your culverts have sheds on the property?
Yes,
Really? That's a standard feature?
yeah.
Do you normally put them in that?
Typically, they're within the enclosure.
Are they taller than the enclosure?
Yes, for the most part, because they want the roof to be sloped, so you have snow load on top of it.
Yeah. I don't love being able to see it. But if you notice, I'm big on screening.
Yes.
So you got
I've
to sit
noticed
through
that.
2 hours of
I
this.
got that.
So it's
Everything.
hard for me to give you
He's
something that I didn't give. But I'm consistent.
Yep.
So that's the thing I gotta figure out. So if you can come up with a solution for that, because I don't think we can make the garage enclosure, garbage enclosure taller, right?
No, isn't that a standard?
Is it standard?
It's standard 6 feet.
Yeah.
And then if it's taller, is that a different variance?
We don't actually have a height requirement for dumpster enclosures. The general rule of thumb is to clear and cover the enclosures that are inside of it. This instance is a little bit different than that.
Okay, so the spirit of it is to cover and block view for whatever is in there. That's the spirit of it. So that's why 6 feet is normal, because that's the height of most garbage.
Dumpsters and stuff like that, yeah.
So again, not trying to be nitpicky.
No, I understand.
It's-
I get your point.
It's unusual. When I looked at it, I thought, oh, that's,
The shed threw me off.
I never noticed that at a Culver's before.
I
But
didn't either. Okay.
I would love to see what my board members think about how we can address that problem, unless it's not a problem for them.
Well, unless you don't want to give them the shed, I don't know how you can't really.
How much taller is the shed how tall is the shed?
It's just under 10 feet, the high point to the top of the shed, because it's sloped.
I mean, if you look at the location of this whole thing, I mean, the shed with the Culver's doesn't bother me.
I understand there's probably sheds in the Lowe's parking lot, so as I think about this, I'm thinking more.
That's true.
So I guess in the spirit of the law.
Yeah. Yeah, for this
We don't-
location, it's kind of blends in.
Yeah,
It could be a floor mount.
if you had to put it somewhere,
There's
next to the
wheelbarrows.
Lowe's is probably a good
There's
idea.
wheelbarrows out there and plants.
That's the only thing.
Okay, what about the number of signs? Does anybody-
That's a lot of signs.
Yeah, it's just,
It
I mean,
is,
I
but
get it.
it's a tough spot. If you think about like that parking lot as it is right now, if you go into Lowe's, that is a tough parking lot as it is.
Yeah.
And then, are you guys removing trees from there as part of your plan?
Well, to some of the trees that are being removed, yes.
It'd been easier if you said no.
Not
So,
all. But we are adding to it.
because it's really screened there. It really is, because it's a tuck back. So, are they illuminated signs?
Yes, they are.
And this is the standard signage setup for a Culver's?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, there's
So-
a corporate package, so
Yeah.
that's, I mean, I think there's a notation there that says you can't, any adjustments to this layout must be submitted to Culver Franchising Systems.
So,
So this is standard. So hypothetically, the Culver's is on 15 Mile and Clausen, has the same sign package?
It presented the same sign package. There is some latitude by community, but the franchisees are obligated.
That's what we're looking for.
I
is the
remember hearing this
latitude.
from McDonald's
There-
45 years ago. Oh, this is what we have to have. No, they don't. So,
Well, and I know that McDonald's has different
yeah,
signage.
but they didn't used to. So, yeah.
We were a trendsetter.
And,
Yeah.
and we, first of all, the franchisee owns and operates other Culvers in the area, and they've had to be respectful to local codes as well. He's under an obligation to present the package that the franchisees want.
That's what I figured.
So that's the ask that's here, but they also want to be respectful to the community and to have something that's going to be nice and fit in with the community. This is a very, very difficult site to find, though. So, you know, if there are some things, maybe the tagline sign that
Yeah,
says
right.
the Butterburger and
Yeah,
things.
that was the first thing I was gonna
That's
say.
an example.
Right, that could go, and I would just say too, is the sign that's proposed on the rear of the building, sort of
Right.
facing the
Same
Lowe's
thing.
lot.
Exactly.
That doesn't do a whole lot of good here, but there is a really strong case for all three of the other signs.
Yeah.
And if the three of them in the aggregate are less than the 120 square feet that would be allowed, so I think we would be under the allowable sign area if we were to go at that point. And none of them will be able to, it won't be a proliferation of signs because the viewing angles for each of them are so distinct. And,
I'm down with
So,
that.
so are you saying you're dropping the request for the sign in the rear and the two Butterburgers
we,
signs?
we would like to have all
We
of them,
can
but
do
if the
whatever
board
in
didn't
our
see
motion.
fit for it, we would understand your ruling
Yes.
to that
Okay,
regard.
so you cannot, we're speaking in code here, you can't on your own drop it, but you'd be okay. But I'm saying is, okay, you'd walk out of here smiling if we made that motion.
That you're willing to accept
Yeah,
a variance we
Or
might grant.
maybe not totally smiling, but, because this is recorded, you'd be, we gave it our best shot.
Something like that,
Yeah.
yes.
Now, the one in the back of the building, I understand, but it's also delineating the front door, right?
No, the back of the building.
The back of the building,
would be
the lowest facing
The
sign.
middle one on the right.
So it'll have the canopy as well as that one sign, correct? Can we see the other angle?
So the one that Jim is pointing to, that's the back of the building that
Right.
faces Lowe's.
That's the back of the building, that's facing north, right? Or kind of northish?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if you're gonna see that.
No, the drive-through one is the one that really
Motion
faces north. That would be, that
Already
one.
slowed down.
That's
true
an
north.
important one, is people are cresting the hill
Well,
to be
I
able
will
to
say
see.
that Lowe's is.
Because they won't see
It is a
that
tough
ground
location.
sign.
No,
Yeah.
Once you know it's there.
I have no,
Yes.
I have no
I like
problem with
on
the
it, but I'm
Culver
saying-
brand
Yeah.
symbol signs. I mean,
yeah, if we could just remove that one Butterburger. and everything else.
Butterburger thing, I mean, that-
I'd take the one off the back too, I don't think it's
Yeah,
necessary.
I don't think you need either of them.
Well, you need those two votes, so.
I would take the one off the back, I agree, it's, if somebody's in the Lowe's parking lot,
know where
and those
you
are the
are.
only ones that are gonna see that, they know they've already passed the culvers.
Correct.
So I would say in this instance, that one could go.
yeah. I don't think we're gonna be harming the customers in any way.
Or the success of this
Or the
location.
success of the business, yep.
What are the sight lines you see or who's gonna see the northeast sign, Culver sign?
This one was a drive-through?
Not, yeah, I guess, not
Yeah.
the drive-through window, but the drive-through, I guess, going into the drive-through.
That's the one they're talking
That's
about.
the one that
accent.
we said we would get rid of.
Oh, that's the one,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'm all
And
discombobulated.
again, I still believe that,
That's the facing Lowe's parking lot.
and it still faces commercial property to the north.
Got it.
That's still commercial.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point on the landscape plan that they are identifying that they're adding, along the dumpster enclosure near the shed area, they are proposing a 6-foot-high evergreen hedge along that, wall line, so just suggesting that if there was a concern about the visibility of the shed, that possibly there'd be a consideration to increase the height of the evergreens, if that was something that was amenable.
Perfect.
What's the ground mounted transformer?
That's it, right there.
Oh, I missed it.
Sorry. That's the transformer badge, where you put the electrical transformer on.
Oh, because it's in the side yard. I wondered why we had that.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it should be in the rear yard.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, the
okay.
way this property lays out, it's by definition,
Yeah,
I'm not so sure I agree with Corey, but
Right.
it is a side.
okay.
Carol, want to make the motion since you?
Wait, I gotta open the public
Oh,
hearing.
sorry.
All right, so I'm gonna open the public hearing. So I wanna put into the record that Karen Shelton, who lives in Unit 26B, came at the start of the meeting, talked to me, wanted to note her objection, and then there, and she is in Unit 26B, and Rick Kidzierski, who's in Unit 24, also had a letter objecting. So we had two objections to this. Karen's feedback, kind of was the same thing as, too many signs. And I think we've kind of addressed, some of it with some of the ideas that we've suggested that the applicant seems to be okay with. So I'll just read that. All right, so I'll now close the public hearing, and then we can bring it back for a motion.
Okay, I guess I'm doing this one. With regard to the property located at 1801 South Telegraph Road, this is for the proposed new culvert. I would move to grant the permission request for the required shed because the applicant has demonstrated compliance with section 42-7.6 standards. This is a commercial area, and the size, use, and location of the structure is compatible with that area. I would also move to grant the dimensional variance for signage now, in part. And I don't know how to read all these through, but I would move to approve the signs as submitted with the exclusion of the sign on the rear of the building and the sign that says, what do you call it, but it's
Butterburger.
Butterburgers.
The
Frozen
Butterburger
custard.
sign. And approve the rest based on the applicant showing a practical difficulty. The practical difficulty is due to the unique location of the property, the way the building is situated on the property, the fact that it's on a very highly traveled road with a commercial use right next door that blocks the visibility to some extent. And because of that, compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be burdensome. And there's no injustice to the surrounding commercial properties, and it's not self-created. If approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year. All permits must be obtained prior to installation.
Support. So I have a motion and support. Any discussion? I just want to.
Yes. Good discussion.
Oh, I knew I missed something.
So are we gonna make them screen the shed?
Well, if it's my understanding correctly, if I'm right, right now, the plan shows screening to the height of the wall.
Which is 6
Yes.
feet, and the
Yes.
shed is 11 feet.
So you can plant 6 feet arborvitae in there?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm gonna amend my motion to include that there'll be screening on the side of the shed that's visible from the roadway to be at the height of 11 feet when planted.
Can you zoom in?
Huh? Wherever it is.
Oh, you're only screening the north side.
Yes.
That's the access gate.
No, I want to screen where you see, when I look at the picture in here.
Because it's concrete all
Right
around
here,
it?
this picture. Oh, I guess it's in the rear.
Yeah, here. This is where they're proposing the 6-foot planting.
It's a
I was
sidewalk.
suggesting that they could be increased if that was a concern, but that's
Yes.
really the only place that they're
Yes.
screening at, and
That's
there's the
what it-
shed.
Oh,
I know, they still can't screen it from the
they
road.
can't screen it. You can't.
Well,
screen-
actually, they kinda can. Isn't there a planting right there? Isn't there some?
Yeah, but that's on the other side.
Slopes.
I don't think you can screen it.
I don't think you can screen it.
That's my.
I think go with the planting shown on the plan, unless you have a better idea, Chris.
I don't see how you
just-
can screen it.
Again, I wanna be consistent, that's all.
Yeah,
but-
I don't think it works here
That's fine.
with the cement. and
Well, because it would just be
everything.
11 feet, we'd see the other side of it. It wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, it
So
would,
it'd be aesthetically not pleasing.
right,
So,
okay.
thank you for your attempt. So we'll take the motion as
All right, wait,
original.
so I just want to ask, there, because I don't know if I counted right, was there one or two Butterburger signs?
There's one.
There's
No-
just one?
no
Okay.
Butterburgers.
Okay, so there's no Butterburger sign.
Butterburgers
okay.
off.
All right.
So we just have signs on 3 sides
Signs on 3.
and the
The ground sign.
ground signs.
Okay,
Yep,
I
correct.
think we're clear there.
Support.
So I have a motion and support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations. Your
Thank you so
request,
much.
as
Appreciate
modified,
your
is
time.
granted. Okay.
Thank you for your
Thank
understanding.
you.
Appreciate it. Good night, everybody.
Thomas, thank you.
So do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second? All those in favor?
Welcome our new
Aye. We're adjourned.
I was gonna welcome our new member.